daddy gonna go back.
But mamas always stay.
What in the name of child abuse did I just watch? This mother just made her young daughter parrot back to her the phrase, "Daddies come and go, but mommies always stay." No, you don't get to use your personal experience to trauma dump your abandonment issues onto your own daughter. And who's going to tell her about all the deadbeat moms and single fathers? How dare you make that child believe that there's not going to be any hope for her just because of your problems? Just to boost your own ego. Just be careful the kinds of things you tell your children, because when they grow up and realize you're the ones who planted those seeds of hatred in their heart that have caused them so many problems, mommies can come and go too. Oh boy. Why I personally don't agree with 50-50 custody. Oh cool, so you don't mind giving dad the custody then, right? And you get a couple weeks in the summer and pay child support? No? Kids tend to have severe tantrums when they go back to the next parent's house. Yeah, kids are gonna have tantrums whether it's 50-50 or not. Cowardice parents seek 50-50 to get out of paying child support or as much. There it is. This is easily one of the most annoying things to me. Literally drives me crazy, but they say the only reason that a dad would ask for more parenting time is to get out of child support. Okay, but riddle me this, Batman. All over Mom Talk, everyone is constantly talking about how child support doesn't actually cover the cost of childcare, how it costs so much more to actually be with the kids all of the time, right? So with that being true, how could a dad possibly be getting out of paying money if he has the kids half the time? Does child support cover the cost of expenses or doesn't it? I personally would always rather my child's father provide less money and more parenting time because I know which one is more valuable. Some people like this creator say 50-50 shouldn't be the default. I don't think full custody should be the default. Unless a parent is proven unfit, abusive, negligent, or does not want to be involved, would rather pay child support, there should be equal shared parenting. Dr. Linda Nielsen published a paper for the Department of Health with 60 comparative research studies, all seeming to point to the fact that children fare better with equal shared parenting. Not only do children fare better, parents fare better too. Would you like to know how much more likely a mother is to earn 6 figures while sharing custody as opposed to being the sole custodial parent? 325%, according to a recent time-sharing survey. And look, there are always going to be situations where one of the parents needs to protect the child from the other parent, and both mothers and fathers suffer at the hands of a broken family court system. But the majorative amount of co-parents, about 81%, are able to get along without courts at all, meaning the amount of families where you would need to tear away one parent and make them a visitor at best is pretty small. Yet you want to make that the majorative decision for all families because your situation sucks? It's not right. Equal shared parenting, barring abuse, neglect, or forfeiture, is best for kids and parents. None of us are fighting for abusers or deadbeats, but us good parents, we need you to fight for us. Wow, so I think I just found the worst argument against shared parenting I've ever seen. This is a creator's response to this comment saying fathers are biologically unnecessary. This creator goes on to agree with this comment, stating that the reason fathers are biologically unnecessary is because they can't lactate. She says formula wasn't always around. What are you going to feed the newborn? Some water? A steak? And if you don't already see how this is a massive L, consider the fact that many mothers don't lactate. So that being said, Jasmine, are you saying that mothers who can't breastfeed are biologically unnecessary to their own children? You're trying to tell me and all of TikTok that a mother who survived breast cancer by getting a double mastectomy and won't be able to breastfeed her newborn baby is biologically unnecessary. Because I don't know if you realize it, but that's what you just said. And sure, formula was not always around, but it definitely is now, as are milk banks and many other options. But you want to continue basing an entire parent's worth, the entire way family courts decide parental rights, on whether or not you'd survive 2,000 years ago? Dude, it's like first we had golden uterus syndrome and now we have golden mommy milker syndrome. This creator is so out of pocket. Look, whether you can lactate or not, whether you're a mother or a father, whether you are even biologically related or not, if you are a parent to that child, you are necessary. Judge said I can only see my daughter on weekends, so I got a job at her school. Now I see her Monday through Friday and get to have lunch with her. This right here is, 1, pretty much the same reason I married my husband, and 2, the reason I talk about this stuff. When my husband found out he was going to be a father in his early 20s, he left his job, family, and friends to move hundreds of miles away to be as close as he possibly could be to this child, to see him every day. And what happened? Family court did the same thing, gave him just every other weekend. Yeah, this man turned his whole life around to get a house a mile away from the mother with an extra bedroom just to see his kid 4 days a month. And this was years before he met me, for all the bitter people who think that men only step up to impress their girlfriends. And so now what's going to happen to this man is, because he's been given the most bare-bones parenting time schedule, he's also going to have to pay the maximum amount of child support. And whether it's a public or private school, he's probably taking a pay cut to take this job. And so what the child support office is going to do is calculate his child support at his potential income, what he was earning before, not at his current income. That means this man's child support could be calculated at, say, a $70,000 a year income when he's only making $40K. All of which, by the way, is giving a huge chunk of money to the state. So basically, this man and many men like him are lining the pockets of so many people just to be a present father. It's time for family courts to stop assuming all men will be deadbeats when there are hundreds of fathers just like this one fighting to stay in their kids' lives. And remember this clip every time you disrespect a father just because he doesn't have custody.
I just got a notification that there's an air tag near me. And sound starts playing and I literally hear it downstairs, so I go looking. Do you know where I found it? Trying to put it back together because it feels like... And put an air tag. So me and my daughter's dad split custody.
Yeah, that is not okay. I totally get that when you're sharing custody, you will get so much anxiety not always getting to know where your child is. I also understand that it is like deeply built into our parental genetic makeup to do anything we can to protect our children. But you should not be sneaking tracking devices on your kid when you send them back to your co-parent. Ethically, you should be informing the other parent that you're using a tracking device for the child. But legally, this is actually a very gray area. It is illegal to track another adult without their consent. However, no consent is needed for a parent to track their child. And as parents, we have to stay diligent in checking our kids' shit because not all tracking hardware is gonna make sounds. My husband and I personally dealt with this when my stepson came back with a watch from the other family, and it took us months to realize that it was tracking his location and all kinds of other information. And I remember at the time that felt so conniving and invasive and also unnecessary. At the same time, I know my husband and I are good people, but I'm sure that you could tell me a story of sharing custody with a lunatic that would make me go, yeah, I can see why you would want to track your kid. If you got to vote on it, would you say that a parent tracking a child during the other parent's custody time should be illegal? Why or why not? As you type your response, I'll end on this. If you do happen to find a tracking device left from your co-parent on your child, here's what you're going to want to do. Give it to your funniest friend, send them to the gaudiest strip club for the weekend before you return it to your co-parent, and just tell me the look on their face, please.
You know what really bothers me is people that want 50-50, but their job doesn't even come close to allowing it. If you have to be at work at 6 a.m., you think your children need to be waking up at 5? Why can't those children just sleep and have a normal evening and a normal wake-up time?
You can really tell when a bitter divorcee has completely run out of reasons to excuse why they're denying equal shared custody to their ex when they start acting like it's child cruelty to wake your kid up before 6. The reason that parents can be awarded 50-50 custody even when they have a demanding work schedule is because 1, it's possible and people do it all the time. And 2, because if custody and who receives child support was based on who's more available, it would just become this big race to see who can quit their jobs and file first. Now, let's analyze how what she said was so damn insulting to so many parents out there. Like, is this woman at all aware of how many single mothers are working nurses who work 12 hours a day and do exactly what she just implied was bad parenting by waking them up before 6 every day? Does this divorce coach have any cognizant awareness of how many latchkey kids are living happy, comfortable lives in these abnormal conditions? Then, you want to know what the top comment was, which the creator liked? It's all about the child support. Isn't it so interesting how when a father asks for more time, he's only doing it to pay less child support, but when a mother denies him more time, it magically has nothing to do with the fact that she might want more money? If your strongest argument for why your ex should not share custody is, well, it's not fair that the kids have to wake up early, it doesn't sound like you have much to complain about. Here's the real ugly truth about divorce. If you keep picking apart every little thing your ex does as bad parenting, you are going to lose a lot of friends who do those same exact little things. Trust me.